Hey everyone, welcome to Gachapon and Cubing for today. I decided to, get, well, I think I spent about, $20 on Gachapon tickets when they're on sale a few days ago, and this is recorded content. Uh, well, as we're speaking, I'm just doing a horntail run, so I figured I'd set a video to render before I go off to sleep. I didn't do one last night because I was out in the town doing stuff. Yeah, I don't, do that very often, so it was nice to change it up and do something a little bit different. So that was fun. Um, so I haven't done Gachapon in a while. I think the last time I did one, I put a video out for it, but that was about it. And I didn't get anything really good from it because I did the Hennessy's one, and and people were telling me that I should have used Sleepywood one or the NLC one, but yeah, so I decided to use it this time, and I think it's actually pretty good. Like, you do get some crappy scrolls sometimes, but the majority of the time you get something. Well, not that I'm going to plan on really selling any of it. Something actually decent. So yeah. And I'll just talk about a few things that I've seen people saying in my videos. Well, there's I'm not ignoring questions when I see them on my videos. It's just repeated or frequently asked questions, like, where do I get my money from? How did I do this? How did I do that? Those sorts of questions. It really comes down to again, I just buy an X, and then sometimes, I might get an item in game, or I might be making a new item and selling off an old item that I get money through. But it's basically just making a loss with the amount of money I put into making it. But most of the time, you make a loss on nearly everything in Maple, with the market how it is at the moment. Let's see. People have been asking me about my guns and how I came about to getting them, because in Bello especially you don't really see that many because there aren't that many pirates to begin with. And they were just wondering, how did I do it? How did I make it? In the sort of area that server where you really have to fight for whatever you can get. As it's been shown in my videos, I tend to make all my own equips, especially pirate, because you can't find anything. So it's, as much as I do love finding pre-made equips, like I do take advantage of pre-made equips when I come across them if I really need them. Like my mask, my branch nose, my ring. It was a lot cheaper to buy that stuff, even though it probably seemed pretty expensive to buy it like that, instead of trying to make it, because making something like that would have been extremely hard to do. But yeah, so the gun, well, I've made two guns, the VIP gun and my Empress gun. I recently sold the VIP gun to a guildie, and I'd been holding on to that one for a while, and then I was going through all the things I had, all double ups of, or stuff that I wasn't using anymore, and that was one of them. And so I got rid of that, and my old witch belt, since I replaced it with something else, a better one. Yeah, so most of the stuff you see that I'm using, I cube it, I make it myself. But really, with the equips that people use nowadays, it's really come down to that again. Because before, like a few years ago, people would make their own equips with like scrolling the items and things like that. And then Maple reached a point where a lot of people had the same equips, like the same duped equips. But when it comes down to things like the Empress gear, um, having it like that, you really people do. I think there were a few duped equips, like the thief helmets, and thing and that sort of equip. Well, the more common, you'd find that some of those have been duped back in when duping was at large. But the other the other equips, in terms of like pirates and mages and the less common ones, you find you don't see much of. And everyone really has to make their own equips, and it's not really that hard to do. Like, especially if you're going to the Empress boss every day, you tend to get a lot of equips. So yeah, you just make them that way. Like, if you've got a strong party who frequently goes, it'd be good to have everyone on at the same time, which is hard for the squad that I'm in, because I rarely even get there, as it is. Just due to my time zone plus busy schedule. But when I was on break, from work and everything else, I was going with them quite frequently and getting equips, and that's how I made my gear. I had Chaos Scrolls, normal Chaos Scrolls, not Miraculous, because Miraculous, I didn't have much luck with them. And that's how my equips came about. I just made them myself. So yeah, it all comes down to luck. Most of the stuff that happens in Maple, it all comes down to if this happens for you, or if you just get lucky making an equip, because it all just comes down to chance. But then again, it can get a bit annoying if you have to, like, a few of my equips that I wasn't getting through the runs, or that because Andy and I at one point were sharing the drops. Like, we'd each take one thing, and then we'd help each other make the equips. So then I'd find that if Andy got a helmet and I didn't, I'd probably just go out and buy one anyway, just to speed up making my equips. So I did buy a few through some of the other squads that were running. Oh well, just the ones that put them for extremely cheap, because there were two groups of people in particular who were very competitive with one another, who would hack at Empress and then provide the equips for like under 100 mil each. So I did take advantage of that opportunity. And I think that was mainly just with my shoes. Like, I had to keep making my Empress cape, but that was the last thing I worked on, because that thing was a real pain. See, that's really how my equips came about. And after this Gachapon bit, we'll go on to cubing, where I do my cape, my shoes, and my gloves, just because the enlightened cubes are on sale. So therefore they only lasted a day, so I had to, when I got a stat that I was satisfied with, which happened a few times, I just moved on to the next one. And wow, all three heads are on weapon defense at the same time. Cool. Yeah, so I just would move from each equip. You guys will see it in the video. I'm not going to run through what I got at the moment. Just in a few moments it should change over. Yeah, I think it's all done. Using Gachapon. It's a fun thing to do. I was hoping to get one or two more specific items, but it was nice to get a Purple Adventurer cape. I haven't had one of those in a long time. yeah, I remember when I used to play mages, and that was like one of my best equips that I had. You know, like a 4+ int 7 magic attack. Uh, uh, yeah, purple adventurer cape. And now we get into the cubing. Sorry about that one setting. I was in windowed mode when I first started off, but yeah, I changed quite quickly to full screen. And yeah, so I started off in my AFK room, where most people know or where to find me if I'm not doing stuff on Maple. You know, like when I'm at work or off doing something else, I often AFK in there. It's just 'cause, you know, the Nautilus, you know, not many people AFK in there, and I like it as a AFK spot. Yeah, so there we go. Back to full screen. Oh wow. And I was really happy to get 6% dex straight away on that HTP from my first Horntail solo on this character. Yeah, so it was I was surprised. Actually went that my HTP on my Corsair. I think it was 3% dex or 3% all stat or something like that when I first got it, which was pretty cool as well. But yeah, it's a good stat. So I'm not gonna cube that because I'm well, I'll be working on the CHTP when I get it. There's just, now that I've, after finishing off some of these equips, like I think my gloves still need a little bit of work after cubing tonight as well. But after I finish those, then I'll focus on working on new rings, and as well as the CHTP when I do get one. You know, hopefully the guys get in for the last couple of runs just to get everyone up to speed with Chaos Horntail pendants. But yeah, that'll be one thing that I plan to work on. And then yeah, I've got 2 extra ring slots that I need to fill up. So I'm gonna try not to spend as much as I have recently, because I spent a bit of money last night that I didn't actually intend to do. But you know, we went around the city a bit, and yeah, just kept throwing money at different things. So I woke up this morning and said, "Oh, I spent a little bit too much last night." But yeah, you gotta have some fun sometimes. But yeah. So almost done with this Horntail. No, I'll have to wait for like 20 minutes to be able to kill it. I'll just go through a few of the questions on the Horntail video. Some of you've asked. The reason why, I explained it in the actual Horntail video, but I guess you didn't listen to the, you probably missed the part where I was waiting. I waited till 4:41. 41 minutes for Horntail to be able to give drops, because if you kill it within the first 30 minutes of entering the cave by yourself, if you don't have a full party of 6, you won't get drops. So then you have to wait until you've been in the main cave for half an hour, then you can do it. So yeah. Thank you, Shadecott, for the gift box. Yeah, that was really nice of you. Forced throws. How many crits does a jet have with all buffs compared to a mech or a set? I'm not 100% sure. I haven't played on my mech for a while, but I'm pretty sure it would have more percent crit. Like, I think with the let's see, I'll just buff up on my jet. I got my Phantom to 70 today, so I've got another crit. Like another 10% crit. I have 80% crit on my jet. So yeah. Uh, I think that's anonymous. Um, how can you have multiple accounts on GMS while you're in Australia? Uh, Everyone thought they were going to take that option away from being able to make more accounts, since next time we're trying to separate the regions, but they've become a lot more global in a sense. They've tried to include Australians and New Zealanders in their content a lot more, having Australian 2x events and things like that. So they never actually took away the option to be able to make more accounts. So I've just been able to keep making them when I need them. But I've got about 4 or 5 accounts that I use just for different things. Some stuff it's you family mules in the big Healing Dave family that's in Bellocan. I've got a whole basically a whole tree of characters connected to one another, so I can always get myself a new spot. And then I've also got a couple of mule guilds and things like that. The graphics glitch, I'm the only way you can really fix it, and it wasn't even working for me when I was getting visual glitched, is just to change the graphic setting in the system options. But that might change it for a little bit, but I found that I changed it and it'd just change what the glitch looked like. It wouldn't fix it. Yeah, it does make the game a bit unplayable. But sorry, I don't have a real solution to solving it. What card set am I using? Let's see. Well, I've got the buff from my Corsair, my Demon Slayer, and my Jet. So, like, the actual buffs that I get from them is pretty useless, but it's basically the buff you get for having 3 SS characters, which is, SS is rank 200, so I've got 3 200s on one account, so then it's like an extra percent of boss damage, an extra percent of like all stat, and I've forgotten what it actually gives in total, but yeah, it's a good buff. For A Girl 1-up, yes, if your item is legendary tier, you should cube it with enlightened cubes instead of super cubes. Super cubes are cheaper, but enlightened cubes, it increases the chance. As you can see, I'm using it there in the video. It increases the chance of having a bigger percentage, or more chance of stacking 2 percentages, like dex and dex, or sometimes you can find 3 lots of dex or 3 lots of luck. And basically enlightened cubes are just a better option to help you get that. Let's see, next question. Yeah, the Gachapon does give some good items. I didn't get that many equips. Like, I got a black tube and a purple adventurer cape, but that was about it. But good job getting a pair of specs. Let's see. Next question. Why don't I get another ring, shoulder, and a badge, and another pendant? I am in the process of getting another ring. Shoulders, there's nothing really good to get at the moment that you can potential. Badge, I have to get my charm level up a lot on this character before I can do that, so I'm doing that through going to Zac and Horntail, but I'm not dropping the pendant, so I'm not really getting that much charm from Horntail to begin with. So yeah, I know it would boost my range a ton, but it's just coming down to what's available at the time. So yeah, that's all the questions that were on the Horntail video. I'll just scroll down to the next one. Okay, on the cubing video for my core, how do you join 4305? I'm not involved with 4305 in any way at all. Yeah, they're in the alliance, but I don't have a character in there. So I don't really have any power in there. You'd have to talk to Tony or one of the other people in 4305. So yeah, leaders in one guild don't really have much influence over what happens in another. You can't really just get them in there just by saying so. So yeah, I can't help you there. Sorry. Another question on how do I get so much meso? Just NX, and yeah, selling NX for meso when I do that sometimes, but I don't tend to sell a lot of NX for meso. Let's see. Have any tips on how to get good armor and weapons easily? Just try to get involved with an empressing group. If you're strong enough to help out in some way, like sometimes even if you just play like a mule character, like I do sometimes, like a demon slayer, to bind, or a bishop there to heal, or just some sort of support role, and you can get if you've got a good arrangement with them going, you can get armor, weapons, anything you really need. Let's see. Yeah, question about the alliance from Ares Guild. We were in the permanent alliance with Honor, Sleight Attack, and Pirates. The whole thing, the reason why we changed, we just felt there was a need for a change. We got our name back as well, without the _B, which was good. Pirates is yet to have that happen, but Tristan was pursuing that quite intensely, so yeah, we managed to get that back. But really, the main reasons why we changed the alliance was we were just looking for something new. So yeah, Limitless and 4305 joined us, so it's just some friends who do boss runs with us, and we talk with them on Skype and things like that. So we thought, why not add them to the alliance, just to add another angle to it. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, why do I always sound so tired? It's just I tend to do these videos just before going to bed, so it's pretty late at night. I often record the content, just earlier in the either a day before or just earlier before doing some commentary. But yeah, I apologize for sounding tired. It's just I do want to keep doing videos because there aren't that many. I feel that I'm one of the only frequent Maple YouTubers out there at the moment. There's a few people who are just doing like taking breaks from doing videos, and I really do enjoy doing them. So that's why I just want to keep coming out with them. So yeah, that I don't really have a set quota of how many I want to come out with, each week, or like how much I even want to do before, I consider being finished. I don't really see that occurring. But yeah, I'm sorry about sounding tired, but it's really the only time I can do it. The only available opportunity to do it. Yeah. Yeah, so that's roughly about all from the 2 recent videos. I will see if I can move my quips over from my Jet to my Corsair for the revamp. However, I recently locked my gear on my Jet because I was DCing a lot while I was at work, and I just felt uncomfortable with my character not being online. Yeah, I felt that it was exposed, so that's why I locked all my gear. But I haven't tested whether you can use karma scissors on locked items that require that to be traded, because, well, I know people have tried it and said it doesn't work, because really, if you're able to do that, then you can potentially, drop it then as well, if you can karma it. Hopefully it's transferable, but anyway, I'll still get around to doing some sort of video on my Corsair. I still do care about my Corsair. It's still got I still care about it. But yeah, I just tend to prefer how the Jet plays. The Jet, it's mobile, very quick. I was trying to get SE on those gloves, as well as like 12% dex. I was really hoping that would happen. I got speed infusion a couple of times, but I didn't get it with anything that good. So yeah, if you're wondering why I kept cubing out, some potentially good stats, it was, with the amount of cubes I had left, it seemed like the only option, because those cubes were going to expire by the time I'd get back on. So I figured I'll always get more money, so I can always give the cubes to fix an item if it screws up. Why not, try for the best? Unless it was something like, unless I got something like 27% or 18 in some instances, where I got 9%, which was good. I'm still wondering whether I will go back over all my other equips and cube them out and try to get 18, or since I'm basically hitting damage cap all the time now, I want to get 200% dex, but that should be done by getting new equips and cubing them. So yeah, I may not go over all of my equips again, but I did go over my shoes, because I wanted to try to get combat orders and percent dex together. That didn't really work out. And then I did my gloves because I wanted to get SE combination with dex, but that didn't work out either, since you can't glitch it anymore. And I wasn't just going to go with combat orders or SE by itself, because really that's just throwing damage away, like percent dex, so it's just, I miss having those skills, and I can't get HP. If I could get HP, I would really get it, just to help my Jet that little bit more. But that's all from me for today. I know I don't think I got a Maple news show out this week, but nothing major's really happened in Maple. I've been covering like the small parts of it in these videos anyway. I haven't done as one yet. I will get around to doing that sometime, just haven't really tried it out. But anyways, thank you for watching once again. Leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later.